Coach John Wooden said, "When opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare." This quote becomes a reality for way too many of us. Whether it's in sports and you're not ready when your number's called, when you're called out onto the field, whether it's in business or in work and your boss presents you with something challenging to see how you could handle it to maybe get you a promotion, or whether it's in life and in faith with our journey with God and not being ready at the hour of Jesus coming back down to take us to heaven. I want to connect this a little bit with Matthew 25, verses 1 through 13, when Jesus shares the parable of the 10 virgins and connecting this to spiritual preparedness for them not being ready. So a summary of this parable is Jesus is comparing the kingdom of heaven to 10 virgins who took lamps and went out to meet the groom. So there was 5 people who were foolish and there were 5 virgins who were wise. The ones who were foolish didn't have their oil lamps, they didn't have oil for the lamps to light them. So it took a while for the groom to come out, so they all became drowsy and fell asleep. And then in the middle of the night, people started shouting, "Hey, here comes the groom." The people that were foolish, that didn't have the oil for their lamps, asked the wise people, "Can we borrow some of your oil to use it?" And the wise people said it wouldn't be enough for them and for the foolish people to use, so go out and go buy some. While the foolish people went out to go buy some oil from the marketplace, the wise people had already entered the wedding banquet with the groom. And when the foolish people returned, the door was already shut, and the groom replies, "Truly I tell you, I don't know you." And it ends in verse 13 saying, "Therefore be alert, because you don't know either the day or the hour." In this story, it talks about having that oil ready for the opportunity of using it to light up the lamp, to lead the way to the wedding hall. We could translate this to many things, but I think for me personally, I made this connection to being obedient to God and doing everything that we can now to be ready for when God comes. Not scrambling last minute, trying to see what you could do to turn towards God instead of actually making the deposits right now daily to turn to God. The wise men were prepared for the groom so that this way they entered the banquet. The foolish men had acted too late and scrambled and weren't able to get in. This translates to many things in life. Like I mentioned previously, when you wait for the last second to prepare, that won't lead to success. With our relationship with Jesus, that won't lead to getting to heaven when you're waiting for the last second and you're not preparing over time to build that relationship with Him, to have that faith in Him, and to surrender your life to Him. And everything else, if you're not ready for the opportunity, then someone else is going to stand up and take it from you. Just like in football, if you're not ready when your number's called and you go out there and you don't do a good job, you perform really poor, someone else is going to take your spot. Just like in business, when you're called up and presented something challenging, are you prepared? Have you put in the work before then to show to your boss, to show to your coworkers that you could be elevated within the company and that you could, put yourself in a better position? Or are you just going to make yourself look silly, get declined, and then make someone else take that job from you? There's many intersections of learnings from the Bible and applying it to daily life. But obviously the main one is using the time that we have now, that we're blessed with now, to turn to God and to prepare for when Jesus comes. Because as it says in this verse, you don't know either the day or the hour. Just like you might not know the day or the hour that you might get thrown into the game, or you might get thrown into a big position in your job that you're expected to fill. Be ready.